welcome back to This Won't Last Call. Thank you for joining us today. So, doing another episode, doing another quick episode. This time, we're going to do one of my go-to-ish drinks, Manhattan. It's a delicious drink. It's basically a whiskey martini, except instead of dry vermouth, you're going to use sweet vermouth, but it's pretty much the same rough ratios as you would for a gin martini or a vodka martini. Although your garnish is a little bit different. Instead of using like olive or lemon, you're going to go ahead and use a cherry. But very simple, very straightforward, easy drink to make, and it's quite tasty. Hinges definitely on the quality of your whiskey and of your vermouth. So my recommendation for this one is actually I like Gallo. I don't have Gallo today. I have Blonde Rouge, which is still good, still tasty, but it's a little bit more spice forward. The spices that you get out of Rouge vermouth tend to be like a thyme and rosemary sort of taste to it, which, they're fine, but I prefer my whiskeys a bit more caramely and cinnamony. So they don't necessarily blend the best, but they're still good, they're still delicious. But for my money, Gallo is where you want to go. And on this one, I'm using Old Forester Bottled and Bond because that's what I like. That's been my jam lately. But on top of that, me personally, I do enjoy Woodford Reserve neat. Woodford Reserve, sorry. So that one's a really good one as well. So, without further ado, we're going to get started. So, you're going to start out, get yourself a shaker, fill the dice. No, not fill, fill the dice. You do about 2 ounces. Okay, 2 ounces of that. You do about a half an ounce of sweet vermouth. Again, this is a flexible drink. If you like it more or less, you could do that. Notice I didn't use a descriptor for more or less of what, but it depends on your vermouth. This is probably a bit more on the spicy side. There is a sweet element to it, fruity, of most red vermouths, so keep that in mind if you decide to change your ratios. But that's how it's going to affect it. It's going to make it probably more fruity or more spicy, depending on what kind of vermouth you have. Half an ounce. So vermouth again is one of those things where it's just like there's so many different kinds out there that it's really hard to be an expert on it. You have to take a lot of classes on it. You have to try a lot of different varieties. There's some fairly generic ones. Most of the time you got Martini Rossi, you got Delon, and you got Gallo. There's Tribuno also, that's a fairly readily available one. So you have options. Experiment. You do just about a barspoon-ish of some cherry juice. That one's entirely optional. You don't have to do the cherry juice at all. I just happen to love it. And then, unlike a lot of the other drinks, you're going to stir instead of shake. Doesn't need a lot of aeration on this, so you go ahead and give it a stir. Now, a good indication that it's ready to pour, which, it's not necessarily all that critical that you do the exact right amount of time, but a good indication is, a little frost on the outside of the glass. You want it extra cold, you don't want it super diluted, but a little frost on the outside of your glass is probably good. So, you're going to take that and you're going to pour it in your glass. Pretty chill glass here. Use my Hawthorne strainer. Just because it filters out a little bit more ice. Then you go ahead and finish it off with a cherry. You get a little bit more juice in there. Totally fine. I got these rum bada bing cherries, but they're really just any kind of maraschino cherry that work. You got the Woodford Reserve cherries that I had earlier; those are pretty good too. But anyways, yeah, let's give it a taste. So it is sweet and it's slightly caramely as far as bourbon cocktails go. However, I would say, if anything, it adds an extra layer of bitterness and woodiness, earthiness to it, which is good unto itself. So if that's something that you're looking for in a cocktail, I highly recommend the Manhattan. Notes that I would say, again, a little bit of caramel, a little bit of wood, oak type deal, a little bit of cherry, a little bit of dark fruits. And the background of various herbs. Again, that's going to depend on the type of vermouth that you use, because there are many different available. And I don't just mean sweet, but also like brand by brand. Vermouth recipes change a lot. It's basically just fortified wine with various herbs in it. So you're going to get different flavors on each different brand. So give it a try. It's delicious. It's a nice go-to. Again, it's more of an aperitif kind of deal. Or even just like an after dinner drink, because it is still kind of sweet. It's not so much like a dessert drink, but it is it's good for digestion. It's not as heavy as taking straight liquor. There's not really any added sugars to it, with the exception of a little bit of cherry juice. So it's really just a nice drink to just kind of between meals, maybe. But it's also typically a sipper. Although I guess you could, drink it at whatever speed you like. Me, I go through pretty quickly. But, give it a try. It's good. It's tasty. It's delicious. Really more for the bourbon lovers, though, for sure. If you don't like bourbon, you're not going to like that cocktail. It doesn't do anything to the bourbon to make it just 100% more palatable. It just adds to it. Adds nice little dimensions to it. So, if you're a bourbon lover, it's a good cocktail for you. If not, maybe try gin martini. Alright, that being said, thank you for joining us today on this one last call. This episode was about the Manhattan, but do me a favor. Check us out on the socials. Check us out on Facebook. Check us out on Twitter. Check us out on Instagram. Check us out on Tumblr. Look up the podcast. We're on Podbean. We're on Spotify. We're on Google Play, I think. We're on Pandora. I believe we're on iTunes. Really just Google us. This Won't Last Podcast. And you'll find all sorts of different links for us. Our link tree, rather. linktree.ee/This Won't Last. Check out the other videos series we have. Big D's doing the Happy Good Mornings, or better as you know him, D-Easy. The currently, as of last recording, he was the Snyder Boy Slim, which I don't think he took kindly to me calling him that, in reference to the Zack Snyder cut of the Justice League. But he has lots of different nicknames. And of course, Paul's going to get something out there eventually. P. Breezy. I'm trying to convince him to do something on politics, because he's a good understanding of politics, smart guy. So maybe let's get political as in the future. Maybe it's not. Maybe he chooses something different. Either way, stay tuned. Check it out. We got things, doing lots of things, lots of good things, great things. But also, eventually, we're gonna have a little something centered around the Snyder Cut, a little extra content for you. So keep an eye out for that. Also, check out our partnership with brightswimmer.com. Brightswimmer.com is a Swedish-based company that makes luxury swimwear for the every person. If you check out with the code TWL25, you will get 25% off of your swimwear. Brightswimmer.com, luxury swimwear for the every person at reasonable prices. But if you like more reasonable prices, use TWL25 at checkout to get 25% off. Anyways, that's going to do it. I got nothing else to plug. Just check us out. Let me know what you think about the music. Midwoe, thank you for commenting. Appreciate the comment. I will work on bringing down the levels on the music. I said it was pretty good, but it was too loud. I get you. And maybe in the future I'll actually get myself a microphone instead of using my phone's microphone. Anyways, that's going to do it. Thanks for joining us. Alright? Bye.